Okay, so let's take a look at doing some converting. Let me give you the basic idea here, but first let us take a quick quiz. If I take 1 times 1, that is equal to, I'll give you a second, obviously 1. 2 times 1 is equal to, use those calculus skills, okay, 2. Oh, look, my 2's changed. Let's take a look. What if I take 4 times 1? That is equal to 4. If I take 12 inches and I multiply that by 1, that will equal 12 inches. If I take pi and I multiply that by 1, that will give me pi. If I take, let's say, 1.75 parsecs, one of my favorite units for distance, whoops, and I multiply that times 1, get that out of there, get out of there, that will equal 1.75 parsecs. So I think that we should be able to make a rule, and that will pop up here. Okay, taking tests is fun, so let's take a look and see what happens with the next part. If I take 1 and I divide it by 1, that will equal, you said it, 1. If I take 2 divided by 2, that will also equal 1. If I take 1 plus 1 and I divide it by 2, that equals 1. If I take 2 and I divide it by 1 plus 1, that will equal 1. Hopefully you don't need a calculator for this quiz. Let's see here. If I take pi and I divide it by pi, that will equal 1. If I take x and I divide it by x, that will equal 1. If I take 12 inches and I divide it by 12 inches, that will equal 1. Okay, wait a minute, this is getting weird here. What if I took 12 inches? Well, let me make a rule for you. 12 inches is equal to 1 foot. Okay, this symbol here, equals, does not mean close to, it doesn't mean kind of like, it means it is exactly the same thing. So let's take that idea here. If I take 12 inches and I divide it by 1 foot, which is exactly the same thing, that will also equal 1. Okay, now let me take that a step further here. If I take 1 foot and I divide that by 12 inches, that will also equal 1. Whoops, well, not 1 foot, just 1. Okay, so with that idea, I think we can make a new rule, and here it is. Okay, so those are the rules that we are going to use to do some converting between units. And let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. If I asked you to convert, let's say, 6.5 feet, and I asked you to convert that, I'm going to use this arrow for that symbol to convert this to inches. the way we would do that is the first thing you do is write down what you are given, 6.5. I swear to God, that's a 6 right here. Let me make that a little more clear. 6.5 feet times, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this up because one thing I know is that 12 inches equals 1 foot. So if I put 1 foot on the bottom and I put 12 inches on top, what I have is a situation where I'm multiplying 6.5 feet times 1. 12 inches over 1 foot, since they are the same thing, if you remember our rules, anything divided by itself is equal to 1, even if they don't look the same. And I can multiply that across. The first thing I can do, though, is I can cross cancel this feet and these feet here, since from Algebra 1, hopefully you remember that you can do this little move. Look at me using color. And then I just multiply across 6.5 times 12. You can hear my neighbor moving. Inches. And that will give us, if you put that in your calculator, I will let you do that. All right, I put this in my handy dandy smartphone calculator since I left my calculator at school. That gives me 78 inches. I have now successfully converted from 6.5 feet to inches. Okay, I can also take this a step further if I would like. If I would want to say maybe convert 6.5 feet, and I don't want to convert that to inches, but I would like to convert that to centimeters. And there are some things that we are going to need to know in order to do that. We already know that 1 foot is equal to 12 inches. I know that 1 inch is equal to 2.54 centimeters. Hopefully I know that's right. You can get that off the conversion chart that I gave you in class. And let us see here. Let's set it up. Write down what you are given. I am given 6.5 feet. I want to set this up to cancels. I know that I don't want feet here, so the first thing I'm going to do is immediately put feet here without even looking at what I have. And I'm going to take a look here. I see I have how many feet? 1 foot. You have to be sure that you put the number and the unit together, because I often find people will put 12 feet and 1 inch on top, and that is absolutely not correct. 12 feet is not the same thing as 1 inch, and therefore does not equal 1. And let me put this in here. I have my 12 inches. Okay, and I have successfully at this point converted from feet to inches. Unfortunately, I don't want inches, I want centimeters, so I have to take it to one more step. So I just drag this out. I put inches down here because I know that I need these inches to cancel. So let me see what I have. I have 1 inch is equal to 2.54 centimeters. That will work for me. So I will take 1 inch and I will put 2.54 centimeters. Interestingly, I switched twos again. Look, I did a little loop on the bottom, and then I did it flat here, whatever. Let me cancel these out. I don't need inches. I am now looking for feet. Let me put that into the handy dandy smartphone calculator. 6.5 times 12 times 2.54. Hopefully I did that right. Equals 198.12. 198.12. Bring my units along. That's the last units that are here. Centimeters. And that is how you convert from one unit to another. And you can only use information that you have off the periodic table, or off the conversion chart rather, and be sure that the number that you have on top is the exact same thing as what you have on the bottom. Those two things must be equal to each other in order for you to be actually multiplying by 1. And that's really what I've done. I've multiplied by 1, 1, and this has given me 198.12 centimeters, which should be the exact same thing as 6.5 feet. So there you go.